The rolling hills, the powerful riverscapes, the rich farmland and friendly neighborhoods, all near an authentic village main street, is the cornerstone of Rochester, Michigan. Oakland County's first settlement has a storied history, natural resources, parks, trails, shopping, events, and has established an unrivaled community lifestyle that people want to live, work, and stay in. Join me as we experience Rochester, Michigan's hometown. Rochester, Michigan's hometown, is presented by Chief Financial Credit Union. It's more than money. Ascension Providence Rochester Hospital. Find us online at getascensionmichigancare.com. Rochester University. Rise together, stand apart. Rakowski Law Firm. And the Fox Automotive Group. Every town has a story. Rochester's story starts over 200 years ago as the War of 1812 was ending.
In 1817, the War of 1812 is over with, and Michigan becomes part of the United States of America. It's a new territory, and it becomes for sale. It attracts settlers who are living in New York with land at $6 an acre. They could come to Michigan, and for $1.25 an acre, they could move here. And that's what opened the floodgates. Not only the price of land, but transportation. When the Erie Canal opened up and allowed people to start traveling through the Great Lakes and into the interior of the United States, Michigan and then Rochester became a perfect place to settle.
Settlers were attracted to the rolling hills, available farmland, large oak trees for building, and a location with the most important resource.
The most important thing is that they found rivers. That moving water is what allowed them to build mills. And so when they found a location where the Clinton River, Paint Creek, and Stony Creek all came together, this became the ideal location for a settlement. So we had 37 water-powered mills that ran in the community. Today we have one left. It's the Yates Cider Mill.
In 1863, the Yates family, they started originally as a grist mill. In 1876, when we first started pressing cider for the local farmers and orchards that were in this area, and that tradition then took over, and they've just continued on since then. So we've been doing cider and donuts ever since.
As the settlement continued to slowly grow, one man's contribution would change everything.
We also had a gentleman, Lysander Woodward, who brought the railroad to Rochester. And if there's one event in Rochester's history that changed the course of our town, that doubled the economic input in 1 year, it would have been bringing the railroad, the Detroit Bay City Railroad. And that north and south, today we call it the Paint Creek Trail, that brought so much business to our town, their market suddenly became not only the United States, but the world. And the only thing that probably upstaged that was in 1879 when another railroad came. So we had one that went north and south and one that went east and west. So suddenly we have 60 trains a day are coming through Rochester.
Rochester was beginning to thrive, but would soon face its first hardship.
When the Rochester Woolen Mill burned to the ground in the 1870s and again in the 1880s, it was eventually rebuilt as a brick building in the 1890s. And it's exceptional because when it had to be rebuilt, the entire town came out and dug the foundation. And that became the second largest knitting mill in the world. Was located in Rochester. We had well over 100,000 sheep that were providing the wool for this new industry, and everybody in town had a job. And in fact, there was such a shortage of workers here that the owners of the mill eventually went to Royal Oak, and they established a Catholic church here so they could get Catholic workers to move to Rochester, and that's why we have St. Andrew Catholic Church in our town today. It was all because of a knitting mill in the 1890s.
As Rochester and its railway system grew, it brought more opportunity to the region.
With those two lines feeding into Rochester, now we had 120 trains a day. That allowed businesses that were located in Detroit to relocate out to Rochester, one of them being the Parke-Davis Pharmaceutical Company.
While in Rochester, Parke-Davis would expand its manufacturing operation that would soon save the world.
Polio was just one of those terrible things, and people in the 1930s and 40s, everybody knew somebody who was afflicted by polio. It wasn't a disease that just afflicted the poor, though the President of the United States, Franklin Roosevelt, had polio.
In partnership with developer Jonas Salk, Parke-Davis began manufacturing and distributing the polio vaccine.
That amongst many things. They did the tetanus, they did treatment for smallpox. They had 300 or 400 acres that were experimentals. They were trying new things, but the polio vaccine is really where Rochester put a stamp on saving the world.
As the Great Depression hit, the President, FDR, and the Civilian Conservation Corps would soon look to Rochester again to support the nation.
The Western Knitting Mill opened up during the Depression, and it made scarves and mittens and socks and lumberman socks, and allowed these young men who were working for the Civilian Conservation Corps to stay warm. And so that lasted all the way up until World War II started, and at that point it switched over into a manufacturing facility. It became the largest producer in the United States of photo flash bombs, which is a flare that's made out of magnesium that can be fired into the sky, and it burns so brightly that in the Navy they could look for enemy periscopes, in the Army they could look for enemy troops.
Another Rochester business would also aid the war effort.
And then the other significant building that came to our town was called Twist Drill. And Twist Drill made precision drilling parts located at the corner of Tinkin and Rochester Road. And they were making nearly every rivet that was used in an airplane in the Air Force and in a ship in the Navy. And so we had everything from rear admirals to pilots coming here and looking at all the precision parts that they could make. And it was such an important part of the war effort that we had armed soldiers 24 hours a day patrolling the rooftops of these buildings, making sure that they were safe and our community was going to be safe in case we were under attack.
The community always came together in crisis and celebration, and Main Street was where they gathered.
In the 1950s, you think about it, the mall concept is starting to show up there, and there's that risk that shoppers will drift away from downtown areas. And by having a Christmas parade, you're bringing thousands of people not only to downtown, but you're introducing them to businesses and storefronts, and it was an opportunity to strengthen the businesses in downtown and bring people together. And it's interesting now that more than 50 years later, it's still doing the same thing.
As Rochester entered the 1960s, one of the town's many famous women philanthropists was Matilda Dodge Wilson, who would bring higher education to the town.
She generously donated $2 million and 1,300 acres to create Michigan State University at Oakland, which became an independent university. And we've been very fortunate since the late 1950s to have a four-year university in our town.
Rochester is also a spiritual community that wanted additional educational options.
Rochester University, we know today, was started off as Michigan Christian College.
About 60 years ago, a group of visionary leaders, men and women, envisioned what the institution was going to be about and what it could become. They had a sense of what this community could become. So they began to work toward that dream and established Michigan Christian College in 1959. And from that time, the connection to the Rochester community has just grown as the institution's grown.
Continuing to evolve, Rochester needed a hospital to provide health care for the community.
By the late 50s and 60s, there were some efforts to start looking at trying to bring a hospital to the Rochester area. Locally, we have a world-famous doctor, Dr. Bertha Van Hoosen, who was world-class. And in the 1950s, she was probably the best-known woman doctor in the world. When they realized that they wanted to do fundraisers to build a hospital out here, they were going to name it Bertha Van Hoosen Hospital. And roughly by the late 1960s, there was a Crittenton Hospital in downtown Detroit that was looking to move into the suburbs. And it ended up being the Crittenton Hospital that was established in the Rochester area in the mid-1960s. There was a floor where all the babies were born that was named after Bertha Van Hoosen. And once again, our community found itself not only with great educational facilities, but we found ourselves with a world-class hospital right in our town too.
We have been in the community for 50 years. There's been lots of changes over that time. The hospital has grown. Additions have been put on and a lot more community collaborations. And then we joined Ascension about 4 years ago.
Rochester's rich history provided the foundation for future generations to expand the community into what it is today. When we come back, we'll take a look at the amazing attractions available today on Rochester, Michigan's hometown.
Home ownership is one of the biggest decisions you will make. Let Chief Financial Credit Union take the anxiety out of the mortgage process. Chief Financial takes the time to discuss your personal profile and determine which lending program is right for your needs with the lowest rate possible. From pre-approval, getting qualified, through closing, we will be with you every step of the way. Discover a different mortgage experience with Chief Financial Credit Union.
It begins with one step, and Ascension care teams are here when you're ready, with up-to-date, less invasive orthopedic care. Our experience reaches across a full range of services. We listen to you, and provide the care that's right for you at every step, from imaging and specialists to surgery and physical therapy. So your next step can be a leap. Find an orthopedic doctor or walk-in clinic that's right for you. Visit ascension.org/MichiganOrtho.
Are you ready to become more, to do more, to unlock your life's potential? We're ready too. Rochester University can help you learn new skills, build your faith, and discover a world of possibilities. We're a supportive, caring community of achievers working to become the best at what we do and to create a better world. RU offers 24 traditional and accelerated degree programs, so wherever your dreams are leading you, RU can help you get there. When you want to go places, you belong here. Rochester University.
From the first time they open their eyes, through every step in training, leader dogs are meant for greatness. Every leader dog from Leader Dogs for the Blind is a chance to give someone who's visually impaired their independence back. Which is why we have partnered with this great organization to bring you the Leader Dogs for the Blind visa from Chief Financial. With it, every transaction you make gives back to Leader Dogs for the Blind. Help give the gift of freedom and apply for the Leader Dog visa from Chief Financial today.
Do you have inherited or family jewelry? Sell it to R&R Estate Jewelry and get paid for your watches, necklaces, bracelets, rings, and coins. Get your precious items appraised at R&R Estate Jewelry Showroom on Woodward Avenue in Birmingham. We will make you an immediate offer and get you paid. R&R is Michigan's premier estate jewelry buyer that has a high value on pre-owned jewelry and resells it across the country. Get cash for your jewelry at R&R Estate Jewelry today.
Welcome back to Rochester, Michigan's hometown. Today, the Rochester area is known to have everything people are looking for in a community to raise a family and call home.
I fell in love with this community when my parents moved here about 25 years ago, and I just love everything about this greater Rochester area. I mean, there's a community feel here that I didn't see in other places that I've lived, and now having the chance to lead in some fashion, along with many other leaders of this community, it's fun to see all the things that are happening here.
You know, when we look at our community in today, it's really got the same features that brought people here 200 years ago. I think a lot of people come here because there are parks, there's open space, there's big giant trees, there's rolling hills. The rivers are still here. Those haven't changed.
My favorite place, I think, anywhere in the city is probably our trails. I have a dog that I run with a couple times a week, and as quick as we can get out of our driveway, through the neighborhood and to the trails is sort of my happy place. And I see lots of friends and neighbors on the trail.
Rochester Park is just the place to go. It's a beautiful, beautiful park, so much to do there. You can walk, you can ride. It's a great place for kids to play. But one of the things that we love are the trails. So we ride the Paint Creek Trail, the Clinton River Trail. We like to bike ride.
The Rochester area has 19 parks and over 25 miles of multi-use trails.
We have a trail system here that is top-notch between the Paint Creek Trail and the Clinton River Trail. So we have this great recreational opportunities, and it's very scenic, and it's rolling, and it's just a beautiful area.
These breathtaking rivers and trails are used every season, with the Clinton River Trail leading to Rochester's oldest operating business, Yates Cider Mill.
We have people coming from all over Southeast Michigan, people looking for something to do, a place to go. We have some of the natural beauty of the Clinton River that wraps around our property, and we still use water power from the Clinton River to press all of our cider, just like we did way back in 1876.
The famous Yates Cider Mill attracts tens of thousands of people each weekend. It has become a traditional Michigan pastime, with everyone coming to enjoy their favorite treats.
My favorite is actually our raspberry pocket pies, but hands down, if you look at any review, you will find that people love the cider and cinnamon donuts. They're making them on demand throughout the entire day, so they're always fresh all day long, and can't be beat.
I'm here for donuts, for donuts only, that's all I care about. Have to have cinnamon and sugar, and obviously willing to wait in this very long line for them. That's how good they are.
A lot of things to do, spending time here with your family, lots of activities for the kids. We've got pony rides and goats, face painting, spin art, and of course just nature in general. We just have a different environment with the river running through our property and just getting the natural beauty of God's country.
Rochester's natural beauty is integrated across the municipalities, businesses, and universities in the region.
When we talk about Rochester University, one of the things that I'm fond of saying is we really aspire to be Rochester's university. There aren't many institutions like ours that offer the opportunity to connect to such a vibrant community. To be connected so closely to this community is a pretty remarkable opportunity. We're in an environment where there are a lot of opportunities from which students can choose as they're trying to decide the college and university they want to attend, and the fact that we're located here is a great benefit for students. They're walking distance from an amazing downtown.
I've probably visited almost every spot down there. If you name a spot, I've probably been to it. So I love to eat, I love to walk around doing sightseeing. There's so many beautiful sights around here.
And the campus today is beautiful. It goes right down to the Clinton River, and it's a gorgeous campus to walk.
So the campus life is awesome. The teachers are amazing here. They email you, they stay on you because they care about you.
After 60 years, Rochester College changed its name to Rochester University.
University sort of captures it a little better now than what college did, so we made that change to reflect the growth and the changes of the institution, not only in the last 4 or 5 years, but also what we anticipate further changes and further growth in the days to come.
It grew up to be Rochester College, and now they have so many programs there. They've really become into that university status, and it's fun to welcome Rochester University to our town as our newest, but they've been here for 50 or 60 years, and they're still doing a wonderful job educating our students.
Another long-tenured organization providing advanced health care is Ascension Providence Rochester Hospital.
I think the hospital has really grown with the community. So we have medical centers that are throughout the community to make it easier for access. We do a lot of community education programs here, so people can come here to have lectures on all different kind of health topics by our medical professionals. And part of what we do is our community health needs assessment. So every 3 years we have to survey our community, see what the needs are, and we really do a lot of our programming around that. And I think that's one of the most important things about this hospital. One of the things that makes us stand out above everyone else is it is a family here. Most people who've worked here have worked here a long time. Whether it was Crittenton or Ascension Providence Rochester, the missions were very similar. We have the same drive to take care of the poor and vulnerable and to really meet those needs.
The Rochester community wants to keep residents for a lifetime. When we come back, we'll explore the most popular attractions on Rochester, Michigan's hometown.
No matter what pops up during your day, Ascension Michigan makes it easy to get the care you need, anytime, from anywhere. Now you can see a doctor online, right from home, 24/7. Check in online for urgent and ER care, or even schedule a visit with a primary care doctor. You'll find it all at getascensionmichigancare.com with locations across Michigan.
Home ownership is one of the biggest decisions you will make. Let Chief Financial Credit Union take the anxiety out of the mortgage process. Chief Financial takes the time to discuss your personal profile and determine which lending program is right for your needs with the lowest rate possible. From pre-approval, getting qualified, through closing, we will be with you every step of the way. Discover a different mortgage experience with Chief Financial Credit Union.
From the first time they open their eyes, through every step in training, leader dogs are meant for greatness. Every leader dog, from Leader Dogs for the Blind, is a chance to give someone who's visually impaired their independence back. Which is why we have partnered with this great organization to bring you the Leader Dogs for the Blind Visa from Chief Financial. With it, every transaction you make gives back to Leader Dogs for the Blind. Help give the gift of freedom and apply for the Leader Dog Visa from Chief Financial today.
Are you ready to become more, to do more, to unlock your life's potential? We're ready too. Rochester University can help you learn new skills, build your faith, and discover a world of possibilities. We're a supportive, caring community of achievers working to become the best at what we do and to create a better world. RU offers 24 traditional and accelerated degree programs, so wherever your dreams are leading you, RU can help you get there. When you want to go places, you belong here. Rochester University.
Did you know that 62% of seniors deplete their hard-earned savings because they failed to plan for long-term care expenses? At the Rakowski Law Firm, we have dedicated our practice to helping families protect their home and assets from nursing home costs. Learn how you can preserve your retirement savings and protect your family home. Call the Rakowski Law Firm at 1-800-ESTATES today.
Welcome back to Rochester, Michigan's hometown. The Rochester community cares about all of its residents and established a special center for its aging population.
This is the premier senior activity center for the state of Michigan. There are not any other senior facilities like this in the state of Michigan. OPC was established in 1983 when the three communities of Rochester, Rochester Hills, and Oakland Township came together and established a senior activity center. Initially, they were in a Woodward Elementary School building, but they started busting out of the seams. They built a new building. It's 90,000 square feet, and it truly has something for everyone 50 plus. We have, of course, our pools, our lap pool, our therapy pool, a full-size gym, the cardio, the weight rooms, all of the activities for art, the lapidary, the wood shop. We have an adult daycare. I can't say enough of how important it is to have a senior activity center in the community like the OPC. And isn't that what you want in a community? A place where you can age in place and have those opportunities and continue to be active and grow.
The heartbeat of Rochester is its downtown district that attracts residents and visitors from across Michigan.
So when we first moved up into Oakland County, we moved into Rochester Hills and totally fell in love with it. I mean, honestly, I can remember the first time I came up on the hill and looked down onto the city of Rochester, and it just looked like Seattle or something. And we got into town, and there are coffee shops and nice little restaurants and all that. So it was an area we knew we wanted to stay in.
I think one of the things that makes our region a little bit unique is the way we really value independent businesses. The restaurants that do really well here are the local ones, owned by people that we live in close proximity to, that we know the recipes for, that we know what they're doing and how they're doing it. We like to shop locally. We like to support the folks that have been in our community for a long time.
Downtown Rochester is home to more than 350 shops, restaurants, and professional service businesses, of which 85% are independent merchants.
The area grew from what I would call a medium to small sized town to what it is today, which is quite a large town. Bill Fox Chevrolet grew right along with it, from a small dealership to the large dealership that it is today.
We live within walking distance of downtown, so got to appreciate everything that downtown has to offer.
I love going to downtown Rochester. It's an awesome place. There's so many things to do, so many great foods and opportunities so you can do new things down there.
My favorite place to go is probably Cruz and Muir for that famous Cruz and Muir bread that I think I have to hold the record on the most bread eaten in a single setting. I have to have that record.
Downtown is our place to go. When we come to eat or anything we want to do, we always go to Rochester.
My favorite place, I have to say, is the Royal Park Hotel. There are so many events held there. They have awesome lunch.
One of the nicest places now is the Royal Park Hotel. That's a good spot.
Everyone has their favorite spots downtown, but there is no debating everyone's favorite time of the year.
Rochester at Christmas time is this eye-popping place. It's kind of this living picture of the beauty and the sort of the festive nature of the community, with this amazing display that draws attention to the community and gives people an opportunity to really enjoy something that's pretty special and pretty unique.
It's just a very, very magical, special place to be. I used to work downtown Rochester in high school as well at a boutique, so anytime the lights were on was just super special, and it felt like a little cozy home for everybody.
We go down, we take the kids down, and just the event where they light the Christmas lights to just the holiday seasons downtown Rochester, it's incredible the holiday spirit that is part of Rochester now.
Christmas time is made extra special with the traditional Rochester area hometown Christmas parade.
Well, if you want to get a snapshot of what our community is like, the best time to do that would be to visit the Christmas parade. It is everything that we celebrate. It is collaborative between the two cities, the two police departments, the two fire departments. It is celebratory. It is smiles and hugs and handshakes and open doors at restaurants and places of business for people to come in and get out of the cold and watch the parade. And it is a jam-packed hour and a half full of kids and adults and folks new to the community and folks who've been here for 50 or 60 years.
It was always a good time, and still is. People flock out for it. It's one of the biggest parades, I think, in Michigan. One year I was Grand Marshal, which was a special experience.
The big symbolic event that captures a lot of what Rochester is all about. I think you immediately think of the Christmas parade, where the community comes together, where the spirit of the community really lives and breathes, and we are very proud to be a co-sponsor of the parade with Chief Financial.
It is who we are in one event, a friendly, celebratory, and certainly about welcoming people to our region.
Rochester's Christmas parade and downtown display are annual attractions within the relaxed, safe, hometown lifestyle available all year long.
It's a community that is really proud of who we are. We're the 6th safest place to raise your family anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country, that's incredible.
Still has that really small town feel that's very rare. Everybody feels safe. It feels like a great community. So I'm very fortunate to have grown up where I did.
Rochester is a unique city where you feel that connection amongst the community and the people almost immediately.
It's that family feel. Whether you're walking downtown, you're in a restaurant, it feels like a family no matter where you go.
Rochester's a special place. People out here are just wonderful. It's been a fun place to work.
Money Magazine just rated us the #1 place to live in the state of Michigan. So this is the place to live, work, and raise a family in the state of Michigan.
We still have such great jobs and great opportunities. We have higher education that's still feeding all these great jobs, that people will stay here and they invest their money here, they invest their family, they put roots in. Rochester is a rising, shining star.